Hi everyone, it's Laura from Grain & Company, and today I'm here to get started on, March's subscription box. So I'm doing a whole bunch of projects, and I thought I would just get this one started so I don't have to come back and do a second one. This is going to be in probably bits and pieces on my end, but for you guys it will be a bit more seamless. In your box you're going to have a 14-inch round. You're going to have your design part as well, and then you'll have some extra design pieces on another sheet. This one we're going to do a little I think it's a technique we haven't done. We're going to do a wash to get the colors of our bunnies, and that we'll do later on in the video. But right now I'm staining a whole bunch of stuff for some other projects, so I thought why not get this one done while I am at it. So I'm just going to move this, and then I am going to stain this board. So I'm going to stain both sides, but we're really only using, on my sample board, I have a shiplap side and a plain side, but we're just going to be working with the plain side for this particular one. So just ignore the shiplap side because that won't be on your board at all. So I'm going to start staining on the back side just because I can leave the good side up in case there's any drips on the table or anything and it doesn't get into or onto my good side. So I'm just going to take my brush as usual. You guys know pretty much how to, you guys don't pretty much, you do know how to stain, and then just wipe it on. For this one I'm going to have to squeeze into those little grooves, but you guys will have a nice flat surface. Okay, so next I'm going to do the edges, and I'm not going to add too much extra stain, just enough to get this started. And I want to wipe it right away because I don't want an extra lip in the front. And just bear with me a second, I spilled my stain here, so I'm just gonna pause. Okay, I think that's better. So I'm gonna remove the stain off my parchment paper so I don't slip it. Okay, so I'm turning it around so my stain back is towards the outside, because then I can wipe and blend that extra. It tends to go to the one side more than the other, so as you can see, I've handled this, so now I've got prints all over my board, but we'll work with it here. Just gonna try and stain all the way around so I don't have to keep touching it. So I'm just gonna go around real quickly. I'm gonna flip this back and make sure, I mean, you're not gonna see the back when it's hanging, but you know, you kind of like to make sure your project is, you know, looking pretty good. So now I'm just gonna quickly go in here and get this stain on so I can blend those edges. And I have way more stain in my cup than you'll get just because like I said, I'm doing some other stuff here, so I just filled it up for myself. And now I'm just gonna wipe, really trying to pay attention to those edges, see if I can blend anything that might have overlapped. And I'm gonna sand it after too, so that kind of lightens anything that might have been doubled up. Okay, so this is going to dry for quite some time while I do my other stuff. So I'll come back later, but for you in a minute, and we will work on the rest of it. Okay, we'll see you guys soon. Bye. Hi guys. Okay, so I'm back for the next part. So after you've stained, we're going to do the new technique, and I don't think that we've done it on anything previous. I don't recall. So what we're doing is called a wash. I wanted to create some texture in the bunny without fully painting it so that it looked different than, you know, the clothes that it was wearing. So what we're gonna do, you should have two little containers like this. Actually, we probably just sent you one. And we're gonna do a little bit of mixing. So we didn't send a popsicle stick because I find that the brush, for the little amount that we need, the brush getting the paint at the bottom will be the best thing. So normally I have measuring things at the store for paint, and I left them at the store. So if you have a set, great. If not, I'm using the ones for my kitchen. I'm just going to put a little paint in it and run it to the sink really fast and wash it out. And then I'm going to come back and put the remaining water in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do Algonquin. So we're doing a ratio of 1 part paint to 8 parts water. So for the little project that we're doing, if you did 1/8 of a teaspoon of paint to 1 teaspoon of water, that should be more than enough. So I'm gonna you guys will have little mini pots of paint, so you can just pour it into that, and then into your little thing. I'm taking my brush so I don't waste any paint, and I'm just gonna go wash my thing out. So I'll be right back. So for the seconds that it's going to be on that thing, it's not going to hurt you. This paint is very safe in regards to many of them out there, so I wouldn't worry about it. But if it does bother you, then you will just want to go grab a set from the dollar store. So next I'm going to add a teaspoon of water to my little container. And then I'm just going to stir it with my brush, because that way I can get into all those little nooks and crannies. I can get it all out of my brush. So kind of what you're creating is like a stain. So we're just going to brush it on. We're not going to wipe it off. We're just going to let it dry. So that's why we want to do it now, because it's going to take a little bit of time to dry, and then we have to do one more color over top. So I'm just going to do a little test in here in the middle, because I'm going to cover that up with clothes anyways, and I'm fine with that. So I'm just going to take my brush and start painting it on. I always try and grab from the bottom and give it a stir, because that way I'm getting more paint than I am just the water on the top. So just give it a stir and then paint it on. Now I'm painting in the direction of the grain, because my grain is going side to side, and your guys' could be too. I'm even just going to paint the tail, because it's just easier to make sure you've got it far enough, and then we'll paint over after when we do it, do the white. So just paint it on. And so we don't need to do the flower, we're just doing the bunny. So stir, and then I'll take off the excess on the side, and now this I'm just going to come up this way because it's easier, guys. But there, okay, so now nothing else on here, but on her dress she's got her hands there, so you want to make sure that you get that little area now, so you don't forget later, and then you got to go mix up a little bit more. So just get in there as best you can. If you get a little over, it doesn't matter, because there's a piece that overlays there. Okay, so yeah, because that all covers that, so that is fine for that one. This one I'm just going to do right now. I'm just going to come in here and do his hands. For the stem, we can always tape off and make sure we don't get so close to his hands when we paint the umbrella stem. So same thing, I'm just going to go and do the same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come back and do the rest of the bunny, and then I will continue on with the rest of the project. Okay, so we've got all him and her hands, and his hands there. So that is all of it. So yeah, if it's warm in your house, it shouldn't take that long. I want this to dry first before I layer on anything else. Okay, so I will be back in a bit. Kate, see ya. Okay guys, I'm back here. So now this is dry. I'm not gonna sand it yet because I want the grain to still want to absorb, and usually if you go into a higher, I'm talking with my hands, if going into a higher grit sandpaper, sometimes it can close in those pores. So I want to keep that from happening, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. So now the next color you'll use is Chateau, and it will also be in a little container, except we are going to do a bit more. So you should have rinsed out your container. I didn't tell you that, but you could have dumped that. So same thing, I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon because we're doing 1 part paint to 4 parts water this time. So same thing, I'm gonna go fill this, and then I'm gonna go run and wash it really quick. Gonna get rid of this. Okay, and I'll be right back, guys. Okay, and now, oh, my brush is a big mess. All right, same thing. Grab a teaspoon of water and throw it in there. So this one's going to be a bit more concentrated to what we had the other one. Give it a good stir, take your brush, run it along the sides, wherever you had paint, leave or go when you were taking it out of the little scooper. Okay, so same thing, you're just going to, I'm going to start in the middle here, you're just going to brush it on. So it's just going to give it, it's going to lighten and just give us that more natural lighter look that I was looking for. Okay, sorry, my phone rang. All right, so I'm just gonna brush it on exactly like we did before, and we're just gonna let it dry. Remember to take your brush every time and wipe it along the bottom of the cup to make sure you get good mix of paint and water, and then brush it off along the side. So I'm just going to run through this really fast. Don't forget to do your little hand here. Okay, so that part is done. Don't forget to do this hand. And then that is done. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna come back in shortly and we'll do the next part. Just wanna compare, I'm just doing another bunny for another thing, so you can just see how it just knocks down that tone, and once it dries, it's just gonna give it a really cute, natural looking bunny. So, all right guys, I'll see you shortly. Okay guys, let's move on to the next part. So, so I've pulled all of this out because there is colors everywhere, and so I'm just going to start with pink because, or it's actually apricot, but because my umbrella, that's the word I'm thinking of, needs to go in separate, like in different layers, so I want to progress in terms of that. So my first one is apricot over here, so I'm just going to, oh, now I gotta rechange all these here, hold on. I pre-taped my green or stuff here so I could just go quicker, but we're doing apricot first. So what you're gonna do is take some tape, or if you're really good freehand, sometimes I just don't want to, so, and I'm gonna tape this one on that line, and then make sure you take your finger and just really rub down that tape so it creates a nice seal. Okay, so we've got the umbrella. We will have the flower on the female bunny. We'll have all of your flowers, the sleeve of her dress and the dress as well. Now, doing this, so just let me find this. So we're gonna stop when we paint the apricot because this little ruffle down here and the top ruffle up there is white. So we can kind of stop, you know, somewhere in here when we do the apricot. So that way when we overlap this piece, which is chocolate, well, sorry, oakum, which is the brown, then it hides that. So we'll stick that there. So that's what we're gonna do first. And then I might work on to 2 colors. So if we do that one, then I might work on, what else can we do at the same time? I think we can do the brown without messing anything up. So I'm actually gonna cut my sponge in 2. Yeah, I'm gonna just cut it in 2. Usually I like to do white first, but it's going all out of order here today. So, okay, so let's get my pink shade going here. Just reusing what I've got here, guys. I've been doing a bunch of painting, so just use what I've done. Okay, so I've got some there. Okay. Okay, so grab my pink. So I'm gonna just start with the dress since it's got the biggest area, and then I can get my sponge kind of primed up here. And I don't have to necessarily offload any extra paint. Okay. So you can just take it right up into that score mark, which is where we're gonna lay that other brown piece. So just go up high enough, just into there. Now remember, you don't have to do this sleeve, but you want to get a bit of an overlap just so when you are putting the sleeve on, that you've kind of made sure you've got it all covered. So that is all we're going to do on that part. And we can do the sleeve. Now normally I would like to tape these pieces, but my parchment paper doesn't hold the tape, and my tape is off to the right here. So for now, we're just gonna hold the pieces. All right, so coming in. See, and this is why I like the tape too, because then I can just go right over it and it's way faster. Okay, so that's that part. And I'm going to do, just gonna tape the face area just so I don't accidentally get that, because if I mess that up, there's no fixing that very well because of the way we had to do that. You can't really just go back over it. So make sure you're either really careful or give it a piece of tape there. Now in the next box, or these ones I cut separate for me, but normally yours, I'll have yours on the template here, so it'll be easy to line them up. And you could just paint. I'm gonna try and put a lot of the pieces in the template, just because I got a lot of dead space there. So just know you could use it in there to paint if you want. Okay, so that's all the pink pieces. I'm gonna give them just a second, and while that's drying, I'm going to work on the brown pieces. Okay, those are white. So this is the only one that's a little difficult, but I'm just going to paint this one off camera because it'll just be easier, but just know that you still have to paint that one and that I didn't forget about it. Okay, so get this one started. Now you could do these clothes whatever color you want. Like the lady who designed this file, they had matching, I think, yellow on their clothes, but I needed this to match the porch sign that I did. So this is my version of it, but okay, now I'm going to do that little piece off camera so you know I'm not forgetting it. Okay, so I'm going to set those off to the side because I'm sure my pink is already dry, or it's getting there. Okay, let's see which pieces I could do. Yeah, not too bad. Just going to give them a sand. So when you're doing this guy, just make sure you're careful. Just kind of steady the stem so it doesn't snap. And we don't want to sand the bunny yet, so we'll just leave that. Come in here, give this one a sand, and we'll do the dress. This one really should only take you 2 coats, so make sure you guys are all properly. Yeah, okay, so I got it again. Okay, so for while I'm remembering, so apricot is a color that is not shippable in the cold weather. So with the nice weather we've been having, we're hoping that it will be fine to ship to those of you who are not local. However, if it's not and the weather changes and it gets really cold, we may have to substitute this color for perhaps our Valentine's color, which is blush. It's still kind of the same tone properties, but it's just a slightly darker. So you could easily just take some white and add just a little bit of the apricot to lighten it. So don't go the color and then white. You want to take white and add the color. And then you could get a softer version of that with that more of that orange undertone. So that's an option we may have to look into, depending if the weather goes crazy, but hopefully we'll be okay. Okay, did that one. Hold on guys, I'm gonna not mess you up, but I'm doing another one off camera here, so I just want to quickly, while I remember, tape this one and paint it so I don't forget. Okay, there we go. So that one's done, and this one. All right, probably, and I think I did that one. Yeah, I think so. You're gonna be yelling at me like, no, you didn't do it. But I think I got it. That one looks done, and I think I did him. Okay, so that color is done. So I'm just gonna set those off to the side. Oh, this guy can't go too far. Okay, let's put those there for a second, and I'm just gonna pull the tape off this one. Okay, so those are there. Now we can do these guys, because they're dry now. guy off the side here. Whoops. Okay, not so much. Okay. Sometimes I need to do 3 on the brown, so we'll see, because the brown has got a more of a clear base, so sometimes I just like doing 3, and I went a little crazy on here, so I'm just gonna wipe it. There we go. You might be okay. Okay, and my little piece off camera. Okay, so I'm thinking they'll be fine just because I had put a little extra on that sponge. I can check on that after. Okay, so let's move on to white because we've got the sign to do, and we've got the ruffle, and we've got the umbrella. Okay, so we're gonna tape on both sides this time. I'm just gonna sand this. Just clean out any dust that might be in there. Okay. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of taping, or like I said, you can do freehand because we're gonna do this side, and we're gonna want to kind of tape around those hands because you don't want to paint over the bunny hands. Okay, let's just come in here a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just gonna go straight. Actually, no, we need the hand. We need to. Hold on, almost. We want the hand be over the umbrella handle. So we need to tape on either side of that. So hold on, I'm gonna just get some tiny bits of tape. And they keep making the wrong size here, just hold on. Okay, and now come back this way. So, one more time. You know what? I'm just gonna fold this under so it doesn't keep sticking to the table. All right, so just make sure you go up high enough that you don't paint any of the hand that's there. So I've kinda, you'll do your best. Like it's not gonna be, I mean, you can get it as, perfect if you can want to, but I think just doing that, I might have to adjust my white after and come in there with the brush, but that's pretty close. Okay, so white on the handle and the middle part of the umbrella. We're doing white on the ruffles. We're doing white on the buttons, and we have 3, and I'm gonna put this one off camera too because it's really tiny and I don't wanna get paint all over my hands. And then we're going to do white on the words. So I'll put that into the camera in a second. I just want to get these guys done first. And normally I would do the bigger sponge on the words, but we're just gonna make it work because I needed the white. Unless you got bigger sponges at home, you guys can, I do. I just don't want to start a new one, so. Okay guys, I make loud noise. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, I'm just using up some extra material. So that's what I'm just gonna paint right out of my lid. And there we go. Okay, so we've got all these pieces. And I'm just gonna start here. So try not to have like a huge amount on your sponge when you're doing your umbrella. Like you'll do your best to seal it, but sometimes those tiny spots are really hard to like really seal. So just kind of have it more on the drier side. than really, really wet. So you know what? Well, I'll hold these. Just hard to not put your finger in there. So good enough. Okay, and now come in here and just do the ruffles. So kind of meet where you met, where the pink goes down. So when you're overlapping, you won't see that seam. And then same with up here. This will be a little harder up here because you don't have a whole lot of room to work with, but just take the edge of your sponge and just go in there. Okay, that's that one. There. Now you can bring this in. Let's see. Try to bring this in a little better for you guys. Okay, there we go. And then just lightly tap. You know by now that I'll probably do 3 coats of white, so I will speed up the video later while I'm doing the rest. Okay, so I'm going to set that there. Okay, so that one is done. So let's check the chocolate, or call it chocolate. Let's check. Yeah, I still want to do one more. Let me check these little ones. Little ones are fine. No, I'm just gonna do a quick one on this one. And I'm not going to sand it because it didn't really need it. I'm just gonna wipe it on. Okay, so he's good. So now we can go on to the green because we've got enough separation. Oh, see, look at, okay, so I forgot to do one off camera, remember? I have that little button. So don't forget that one if you, so I'll just go over here, paint that one. Okay, so let's do the green. Okay. Back in. Okay, so green will be the leaves on the main part of the sign and as well as this. So just reverse your tape and give it a rub there. And you should be fine there, although, oops, you might just want to tape near the belly just in case. I mean, all it does is take one little sponge, but you don't really want to get any green on the edge either. So we're just gonna take some precautions there. And okay, so we've got that green and that green. I think that is it. Okay. It might look like a lot of pieces, but once you start to break it up into its colors, then, you know, if you separate colors, you just a little bit more organized. Okay, so let's go in here. Now remember, you can go right over this one because this is the female, and remember, her hands will cover over that stem, just like the umbrella we can't because he doesn't have a hand go over top of it. So that's why we don't have to tape that one. So just do a little bit there, and then we'll bring this in, and we'll do these guys. Okay, so just while I'm here, I'm just going to give these a little wiggle, make sure they can move. Don't want them stuck in there, especially these ones are you've got some very thin areas, so you just want to make sure that they can come out. Now I'm just going to give them a sand. Okay, put them there for a sec. Let's do the buttons. One off camera. Just be careful when you're sanding this, you don't take all your tape with, so just very gently so you don't snap that umbrella either. And then at the bottom here, and then at the top. And then we're just going to repeat. Okay, white is done for the second coat, and so then we're going to give these a sand. I'm just going to give them a little wiggle. Make sure they can come out. Okay, and then I'm going to sand this one. They'll remember very gently. Don't want to snap anything there. Oh, I need a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly check on my white again. We just did it, but it doesn't take long to dry, especially when those coats are really thin. Just gonna give them a little wiggle here. And I'm actually going to put these buttons on the tape off to the side for my last coat, so I'm not just holding them, so they can stay there. And one more coat. Okay, we're right back. Okay, the white's all done. Gonna set that over there for a second. Okay, so now that all of our painting is done, looks like it. Nope, that's not true. I lied. We have one more color. So you'll have a teeny, excuse me, teeny tiny pot of that. So now just be careful if you folded your tape in that you just don't try and rip it off and it breaks your piece. So just be careful. Especially around these corners there. There we go. All right. See, even I didn't barely anything. I have a little that bled through underneath, so it's fresh on top of the pink. So I'm just like not even barely touching it, but I could just scrape it off ever so carefully with my knife, and you won't even know. Okay, so I'm just going to peel this back, see how well I did. Not too bad. I think I'm just gonna come in here and round his hand off just a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to get that roundness with your tape. Yeah, it should be good enough. Okay. So just make sure that color is dry, and then we can go on to the next one, which is the yellow. Well, it's wheat, so it's got yellowish tones, but tape. There we go. Clean out this groove a little bit. There we go. Make sure it's dry. And same thing. Under, and actually I have to go locate my wheat, so 2 seconds. Here it is. Okay, so you'll have the teeniest, tiniest pot of this, because really you need like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna find a small sponge. Just gonna cut one of these up. You don't want the yellow in there. I kind of like it. It kind of gives it that springy color, and it kind of breaks up the rest of all the colors. So, I know, who would have thought that I would have stuck a yellow on there, but I didn't know what else to do. And it runs along with our Easter collection of colors. So, yeah, that's just what I decided. Okay, so I'm just gonna give that a second. I'm just gonna clean up a little bit because this is gonna take like a minute to dry. I'll just put some of my stuff away, and then I'll come right back and do the second coat. Okay, like I said, that was fast for me. Anyways, just gonna give that a quick sand. And just a smidgen more. Just gonna give that a second. Now, the one thing we have to do still is I added some polka dots to these bands just to help give it some interest. So this one's really small. So in our porch sign, he's way bigger. So that one might be kind of hard to do. But I'm using my embossing tool. You could easily use, like if you have a very small brush, let's see what I got here in my stash. Like, this one is kind of equivalent to what you could use here. You could use a paint pen just to do little dots that way. You could try a toothpick, but you just really, or just you can leave it plain if you don't want to use, if you don't have anything or don't want to do anything. But I'm going to use my small end of my tool to do the dots, and I'm just doing the sanding now because I won't be able to do it very well when I have dots on here. So just kind of create yourself, you know, a pattern or be random or whatever. You don't have a whole lot of room to play in here, and you know what, I might actually, here, I'm gonna wipe this off. I don't really want to hold this because it's really hard. So let's just fold this back a second. And put that there. Let's see how well you guys can see that. Okay, you'll be in my shot. Okay, so make sure you grab the right one. Remember, the one with the roundness is his sleeve. So you don't want that one. You want the one that's a bit more has more straighter edges, and you can just kind of double check by laying it over top of that to make sure you have the right piece. And I'm going to put this guy in here, but I'm not sure how easily he's going to be able to be done. But so just take your pointy object and just dip and dot. I think I did 3 rows on the other one, but these are so much smaller that I'm just gonna kinda do a simple back and forth pattern. Okay, so there's that one. Now, if I do this one, I might just do 3 dots just right across. 1, 2, whoops. 2, 3. Just to break up the brown, because you kind of want it to match the bottom, so you don't have to get super fancy. So if you did the end of a toothpick, that's probably, like, even I feel like these dots might be just a bit bigger than I would like, but it's gonna work. All right, so we can take this tape off. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna let things dry for a little bit for me here, and then I'm going to come back because I'll need to these pieces anyways, and they're still wet. So I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna, anything that's in a template, like my letters, I'm gonna pop the tape off the back and let them sit out so that I know that they can come out later, and then I'll come back and we will put it together. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Okay guys, I knew there would be a chance I was gonna forget this. So as I was cleaning up, I realized, oh darn, I forgot to do the bunny's tail. So I'm just gonna quickly sand these now, because I hadn't done that yet, and I was kind of leaving it for a little bit. So I'm just gonna gently sand, and I might as well just sand these guys at the same time. For jiggling the table. So when you're doing these, just double check, because I want you to see, because her dress kind of, it doesn't fit perfect. Well, this one fits better than the port side one. So you want to make sure you come in enough on there. So gently take it across on that one, and on him. So you can see his doesn't fit quite, oh, there it is. So you want to be careful that you're not coming down too far here on the white. So I would definitely tape it off. And then if you have to come in and just gently touch up anything, it's better than painting where you're not supposed to. So I'm going to go like that there. This one I'm going to come in here. Just want to check. If I do that, that one should be good. If I do this one, just make sure I get it where it's, whoops. Yeah, that should save me from, okay, perfect. No tape where I need it to be, and tape where I need it to be. Okay, so now I'm just gonna come in, just like if we'd caught it before, you're just gonna do a few coats on the white, and then we can come back after and assemble. But so I'm just going to show you one time, and then I'll just come back later when I'm done and ready to go. You don't need to see me paint bunny tail 3 times. So, okay, I just want to make sure that you guys didn't forget to do that, because I forgot. So, okay, I will see you in a bit. Okay guys, I'm back to do the assembly of your subscription box sign. So ignore all the tape. You guys will have lines up at the top for your center. I just didn't do that on this one, so kind of had to do it had to figure it out. So just ignore that. I'll make it easier for you. Also, I might also, as I was ripping my tape off, I'd lost my dot for the eye, go figure. I found it, but I'm thinking I might also cluster these two together so you won't have to worry about those little single dots. So that will be also different from what I'm doing right now. Yeah, let's get started putting this together. So I sanded all my pieces. At least I thought I had. Hold on a second. Yeah, no, I had done the buddy. So I sanded all the pieces, and my board on the back is sanded as well. I didn't do that on the video. And so yeah, we're just gonna start to peel and stick and put together. So we'll worry about the clothing for the bunnies after we get the template off, because we don't want anything to hinder us pulling this back off. So I'm just gonna start with the bigger pieces. So just hold your board steady when you get the first ones in, just so it doesn't move. If your adhesive is wanting to lift, just give it a rub. Put that cover back down and just give it a gentle rub. That should be fine. Just be careful when you're pulling the ones off the stem here that you don't pull a little too hard. Okay, those guys are in, and same thing with all these pieces. They are a little bit more fragile than some of the kits we do, so just slowly take them off and you'll be fine. Just support them as you do it. All right, same goes with the scripted writing. I am going to thicken it up a little bit, but you'll still have the thinner areas in some part of the script, so just take your time. All right, whoops, so, oh shoot, hold on a second. That piece just was, from there, was just in the way, so I just pulled it off. Okay, so that part is done. So just gonna remove that. Okay, so you're gonna see that mine is peeled off. So sometimes when I'm cutting, I'm trying not to waste material, is that I could have had a spot here that I had to gently cut out the back. And this one to me actually looks like there's a void in the wood, so it just kind of snapped because there's missing a layer in between in that particular spot. So I'm just gonna cut me a new piece tomorrow, but for the rest of the video, it's gonna look a little weird, but that's what's happened there. So just ignore it. It won't be a problem for you guys. It's just a problem for me at the moment. Okay, so next we are going to do the flowers. Now on your template, just to make it easier, I will have the spot where your flowers will go already, so you don't have to guess as to where they're going. So I'm just gonna keep assembling, and you can just keep watching me. So I'm not gonna fully press on that yet. I want to get my other one on the other side and just make sure they look exactly how I would like them to be. That way when you guys have them, don't have to worry about that, because I'll have them perfectly aligned. Good enough. Okay, I'm gonna press those into place, and then over those goes the buttons. So we're gonna stick those over top of that. And I center them so you don't really see any of the lines or the gaps from the flower petals peek through. They should work that way. if you might have to turn them a little bit. Okay, so these guys are all sanded. So now we're gonna put her dress on. Okay, so just gently lay, or just lay it on top, and then just line it up starting at her hands and arms there to make sure. So this part might just not be exactly, it's pretty close, but there's a little bit of difference in some areas. I'd rather it be perfect where her hands are, so that's where I'm going from. So I'm just gonna press that into place, and then we can do, whoops, do her little decorative pieces. I know in some of the file designers' pictures, some of them she'll put a dot there for the eye, some of them she won't, so I'm going to let you make that decision. I don't want one on mine, but you certainly can just do a dot just for an eye if you want. Okay, so, and then she has an arm here. And then just line it up at the bottom, and then it should come over that score mark, and then you shouldn't see that at all. Now I just sanded him very lightly, even though I'd like usually the darker colors a little bit longer, but I definitely sanded the edges because I wanted that definition, especially on the sleeve. You can see how, with the distressing on the edge, you can see the difference between the coat or whatever and his sleeve. So that's really all I did, other than making him smooth, is just to give that definition. Okay, so start, let's see, I haven't lined up a boy one yet, so I'm not quite sure how far up. I'm trying to figure out where she did this from, or how high his coat goes up. Okay, I'm gonna pause it because I need to go see her picture a second. Okay, so this comes right, it's supposed to come right down here, but when I do that, oh, there we go. Well, it's probably a little higher than it's supposed to be, but I don't really want to reveal too much of his belly, or of his body, so I might try and fatten your guys's up so it lines up exactly where it should be. Well, that's how it's going to be for mine. So I've kind of centered a little bit on both sides, but, and it does hang out, it seems like a little bit over his belly, but I'm going to double check her file because that seems a little odd, but all right. So before I put his arm on, we need to put his the umbrella on there. So I just forgot to sand his hand a little bit, so give that a little sand. Okay, so this will line up with the score marks on his body. Now, I gotta get my head in here because it's kind of hard to see. I want to make sure we don't see them. So the line shouldn't be seen at all if it's lined up fine. So instead of having my head in the video, guys, I'm just gonna do this so I can see a little bit better. I'm just coming at it from all directions because I got such bad shadows. Okay, that should be fine. All right, so press that into place. It'll also press there. And now we can do the sleeve. Same thing, that should line up pretty good there. Okay. There, and then we've got a little flower, and I think that's where it's supposed to go. Yeah, I think it's off to the side. Let me double check again. See, usually I do one of these things already, and then you guys are watching me do it for the second time, so I'm usually not figuring things out as I go with you, but I didn't really need two of these at all, so I figured just do it together. Okay, and then that little button can go right in the center. Now, other than me missing a word, it is all good to go. Now, for hanging this, we sent you a string, and I should have done this before I stuck this on. So next time, I'm going to just mention, so before all these layers are on, and if you want to support this, is put this on first. See, this is why I usually do one before the other. And you're going to want to staple this on, which was what I didn't do, because I need to gently lay that down. So there's a little bit of a lip here because I've got a few layers, right? So I'm just going to set this here. So remember, I know you're probably following along with me at the same time, so that might, you guys might be in the same boat as me, but that's okay. Actually, that might be too big. Anyway, so what you're gonna do is, that's why I did that center line. So you can transfer that center line to the back, and then you can tie. Now, depending if you want your, how high you want the string, what you'll do is tie a knot on each side, or however long you want it. And then we're gonna staple this on the back. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna go grab my stapler because I forgot to grab it, so I'll be right back. So actually, if I can remember, I will put a note on the video to staple this on prior to even doing your sign. Okay, so I'm really just gonna hold my board really tight so I don't put a whole lot of pressure on the pieces. There we go. Usually I like to give this a tap in, so I'm not gonna be able to do that as well as I would like. So just do your best. If it, in order to balance it, it just slides on the string. So it's not as fussy as some ways to do this. Okay, I'm just gonna do a couple on here, guys. There we go. There we go. That one might not be the best, but it should. I'll tap them in after with a mallet. So yeah, so when the string hangs, there it is. So I don't necessarily want it overly long because this is already a big side, so you don't want to be hanging it too low. So yeah, so that's it. Oh, actually, no, that's not it. You can do these things if you want. So it's good as is, or you can add some decorative little lines and stuff. So you might want to come in on the greenery and do some little sweeps of white strokes. You can use a fine paintbrush. Come in here and whoops. What do I want to do this? Do it with flower and maybe a little on her. I don't want to overdo too much. I mean, I kind of like it just the way it is, but sometimes it's nice just to add a few little lines to add some detail. And she's got some here. Leaf. Don't want any on her face. You can do some on the. No, I'm gonna leave the flowers. So no, I don't have to go super crazy. I'm just gonna leave it. So yeah. That's it. I really like this one, and it'll look really cute with my porch sign. So yeah, so I'm just gonna fix that, and like I said, I'm gonna probably cluster these together so you guys don't have to worry about those little dots. And I'll put these little pink flowers on there. We'll make sure that you guys do those, hang that string on before you get started on this, or at least before you put all of these extra details on. So all right, guys, thanks for joining us this month, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye now.